Happy New Year, everyone! How's everybody feeling? It's 2020 now. Holy shit. Anyway, has anyone made any resolutions? I've made a resolution. My resolution is to continue talking about rock and metal and churning out the videos for you guys in 2020. And here is the first one of 2020. Welcome to another edition of Bands You Should Know. There's some good energy there. Yes, today on Bands You Should Know, we are going to talk about a very lesser known band that was also very short-lived from Los Angeles, California, a little band called Recipients of Death. So, Recipients of Death were formed in the mid-'80s, and they only released one mini-album and one EP, and then completely vanished. Their music is very aggressive, fast, thrash metal, very raw, and in 1988, they released their mini-album, the self-titled Recipients of Death album, on Wild Rags Records. This album was produced by Eric Meyer, who you may know from the band Dark Angel, and it is very raw, it's very aggressive, it's fast. You could compare it to maybe early Slayer. It's any one of those very fast, aggressive thrash bands. You could probably pick a little piece here and there, and you kind of give you an idea of what it sounds like. But it is unrelenting. It is just fucking speed and riffs all over the fucking place. The band pretty much seems to be the baby of bassist vocalist Dead Rich G, who not only writes the music, plays the bass, does the vocals, also does the artwork. So it seems like this was his baby, and so let's listen to a little bit of it so you can get an idea of what Recipients of Death sound like. There you go, Recipients of Death. So I like getting these old school albums that were kind of lesser known, but I like it even more when there's goodies on the inside. And this one, I got it filled with all the goodies that would have come with it when you ordered it via newsletter or whatever. First off, the big thing we got to talk about is that it actually comes with a poster of the band. Look at that. So there's the dudes right there. Well, the dudes that were on this album anyway. And then it also comes with kind of a little mini newsletter talking about the different bands. So if you look, it actually does a little blurb about Recipients of Death right here.
7 deadly songs of total death speedcore. This self-titled LP was produced by Eric Meyer. Fast, thunderous songs with massive riffs spotlight this band's debut. The first 5,000 copies contain a special full-color poster of the band. The cassette has a logo sticker. Look for a tour and a special 12-inch by this band in the summer of 1989.
My copy came with stickers too, with the band logo. Pretty rad. So it also comes with an additional newsletter from Wild Rags Records. It talks about all of the bands that were going on that label at the time. And in their little blurb about Recipients of Death, it talks about how they were gearing up to record their next little EP, and half the band had either quit or been fired. They lost both guitar players. And so it was left to Dead Rich G to write pretty much the entirety of what would end up being their next EP. In 1990, they released the EP Final Flight. And on this one, like I said before, Dead Rich G pretty much wrote most of the album or the EP. And not only that, he also plays all the rhythm guitars along with bass and vocal duties. And it doesn't really say, but I have a feeling maybe he had a hand in the artwork as well. This is a little bit better produced. It's still raw. It's still very energetic, very aggressive. But the songs branch out a little bit more. You could tell that this band had places to go, and they weren't afraid with slowing things down just a little bit and kind of, maybe being a little bit more progressive for what they were doing. But anyway, let's listen to a little bit of a song from Final Flight. So this one just comes with a little insert, which, there you go, photo collage. You know what I always say. But let's take a look at the record. We didn't look at the other record, but, whatever. So, yeah, there you go. Just Recipients of Death. A little bit of old school metal history there. So, yeah. So this EP came out in 1990, and I think it's an improvement on what they were already doing. It's a nice step up for Recipients of Death. And according to the Wild Rags newsletter, there were plans after this EP to record a full-length follow-up album. But that didn't happen. And I can't find any information on why it didn't happen, what happened with the band. There's so little information about Recipients of Death online. They have a Facebook page. I'm not sure who runs it, but there's really no information on there, except for back in September, there were some status updates that said that they were going to reissue these 2 releases, but that's it. So they're a band that remains kind of a mystery. It was a brief flash of thrash metal light that very quickly burned out. Who knows why? I mean, a lot of these bands I talk about, it's kind of the same thing where there was some potential there and then something happened and everything just fell apart. So that's all I got on this band. Unfortunately, just these 2 releases of just some fast, raw, aggressive thrash, totally enjoyable to listen to, but that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this kind of digging up of a buried nugget of thrash metal history from the late 80s. This is the kind of shit that I really enjoy talking about, because I've been in those bands before. I've been in bands where it felt like something was going to happen, and then for whatever reason it doesn't, and everyone just forgets about you, and you really wish that someday somebody would talk about what you did. Now, I didn't do any shit anywhere near as good as this, so don't ask. But out there, there is all this shit. There's all this great metal that was happening, and sometimes it just gets buried, and it might get forgotten forever. And I don't want that to happen, so I'm not going to let it happen. I'm going to keep talking about these bands that you should know. And this one, this week, was Recipients of Death. Thank you for watching. Everyone have a great 2020. Please put your comments down below. Keep getting the word out there. Have everybody subscribe and like, and go to my social medias and follow me. And let's keep this shit going, because I ain't gonna stop. 2020, here we come. Thanks for watching.